Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deck Specs. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Sirocco Playing Cards. But before we get to it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Don't forget to hit the bell.
So the Sirocco Playing Cards were designed by Nathan Oser for Riffle Shuffle Playing Cards. The Weathered Edition, which you can see on the left there, was a print run of 1,500 decks, and the Modern Edition was 2,500 decks. They were printed by Cardamundi on True Linen B9 finish. So let's jump into it and take a look at these decks. I have to say, this is one of the first Riffle Shuffle decks I actually picked up. I love the tuck on the Modern Edition, the gold foil and the silver. Just everything about it pops so beautifully. I think the interesting thing about it, too, is the contrast between the Modern and the Weathered and how much thought went into how to make a Weathered edition. But this Modern one, I think, holds true, is probably my favorite out of them, just because I really like the matte blue tuck with the gold accenting. I also think the inside of the tuck where they did the wind with the sailboat in there is just absolutely beautiful. And it's one of the things that I think is actually missing from the Weathered edition. But that being said, these things fan and handle spectacular, as you'd expect from a nice Cardamundi stock. The backs are actually a very subtle one-way back, but they look beautiful. They're very intricate, and they have that kind of nautical theme to them, which the deck is going for. Different jokers there. You have a pretty stylized ace, and all of the pips actually have this nice kind of customization there, which I think looks beautiful. The courts themselves are all obviously nautically themed, but really neat. And I think one of the things that this deck does that not a lot of decks do anymore is all of the aces are actually stylized, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And then one of the things on this deck too, and I think out of all the suits in the deck, the clubs are actually my favorite. More so for the ace of clubs than anything, but I think just the way the clubs, something about the courts themselves, like pop so much nicer. This hands down might actually be one of my favorite aces, hands down. I think it looks beautiful with the lighthouse there. The hearts, there's just so much like thought and thematic reference to this here. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, Nathan did a great job.
And it really does handle well for what I would consider a collector deck. You actually do have a double backer here as well, which there's a little bit of a variation in the Weathered where you don't have a true double backer. But yeah, I think the one thing about this is it handles spectacularly for what I would really consider a collector's deck more than anything. Then the Weathered edition is pretty much the same with a few key differences. The one thing you'll notice here is the texturing on the tuck. That probably is one of the things that makes this Weathered edition really is the actual physical texturing to the tuck just feels amazing. It's something unique that you don't necessarily see a lot for a lot of these decks. But as you can see there, the inner printing on the tuck doesn't go all the way down. You'll also have to excuse the Weathered fan there because I dropped it on the ground, so the cards are a little gunked up. But the contrast and the ink coloring on this is really what gives it that weathered appearance. It's the same courts and pips, same cards as the or same card faces as the Modern edition, just with a weathered appearance to them, a weathered texture. So they're a little worn down, same colors but not as bright. I think it's really cleverly done, which is really cool about it.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little contrast in colors on the back design.
So yeah,
it's just for me it was really hard to see what was going on.
And so this is the interesting double backer where you have the pink and yellow of the main back, but then the other side of that has none of the yellow in it. So they even washed it out even more, which I thought was kind of unique. But again, beautifully designed decks. The two editions really work well.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was a neat looking.
Yeah, I think he crushed it, especially being a first time designer too. I think he did a great job and super talented guy.
Absolutely. So definitely check out the Riffle Shuffle Sirocco deck, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Deck Specs. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be dropping new deck specs every Tuesday and Friday.